Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing Pairdoku. Now, something about today's puzzle is, well, a couple of things actually. First off, you know it's a weekend, you know I'm not going to let it pass without trying to do an equality cages or shifted line puzzle, etc. And for today, we're going to be doing Pairdoku. Now, the puzzle itself is meant to be solved as a pair of different puzzles. One is a shifted line puzzle, and one is an equality cages puzzle. But you know me, to make this recording a little bit easier, we're going to probably add the clues from one puzzle into the other, just so that we can actually make a bit of progress quickly. Anyhow, to represent a pair, I've got twins, I guess, who are messing around with some kind of toy board. Not quite sure what they're doing there, in a mystical forest of some sort. Shouldn't be mystical, but I mean, the glowing lights and everything looks a bit out of place, doesn't it? Anyhow, let's take a look at today's puzzles and rule sets. Puzzles with an S. So, equality cages 127 and shifter lines 113, Pairdoku from gUBBLOR. First rule, there's a few rules that apply to both of them. The first one is normal Sudoku, the second one is Kropki dots. Say a few rules, two rules. So, normal Sudoku rules apply, and that means place the digits 1 to 9 once each. You can see I was trying to draw this for the thumbnail. Let's try that again. Place the digits 1 to 9 once each for every row, every column, every 3 by 3 box. That's true for both puzzles, of course. Then we have the Kropki dots. A black dot between cells indicates cell values with a 2-to-1 ratio. So if this cell is a 2, this would have to be 1 or 4, so that one cell is double the other. A white dot between cells indicates cell values with a consecutive value. If this cell was a 2, this would have to be 1 or 3 to make sure that this cell is indeed consecutive. Now, a white dot between cells, not all dots are shown, so a 2 in here with a 4, clearly a double, not a problem. A 2 with a 3, clearly consecutive, no white dot, also not a problem. Then we have equality cages. So, cages must have an equal number of low digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, and high digits, 6, 7, 8, 9. It also has to have an equal number of even digits, such as 2, 4, and odd digits, such as 7 and 9. No 5s in equality cages, ever. Then we have the shifter lines. So, adjacent digits within the same box in a shifter line share both parity as an even/odd and polarity, low/high. So if this cell was a 2, this would have to be a 4 to make sure that it's both low and even. And then when a shifter line enters a new box, you have to change either the parity or the polarity. Can't change neither, and you can't change both. So a 2 and a 4 in here, I could go low and odd, such as 1, 3. I could go high and, where am I going with this? High and even, such as 6, 8. What I couldn't do is stay the same, and what I couldn't do is go and change both. Once again, shifted lines can never have a 5, that wouldn't be allowed. So, that's all the rules for today. What I will do is have both links down below. If you want to try and solve it the same way like I've done, that's entirely up to you. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. Am I going to restart the clock? I am going to restart the clock. Then I'm going to spend a minute or so copying these lines. So, no. No, 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 yeah. And lastly, now the dots are going to be interesting. Best I'm going to have is like a bunch of crosses like that. They're kind of visible. So we're going to have to make do with this. And gray, because I can't really do white on white, it's not going to be visible. And I'm just going to just double check that I have copied everything. Otherwise, I have created an unsolvable puzzle or, an incorrect puzzle. Both are not particularly great. I think this is looking pretty good. Yeah, I don't think I missed anything. Cool. Right, let's crack on with the solve. Right, through my example, and sometimes these examples do give me a bit of an advantage, to be fair. This cell was quite tricky. If I put a 2 in here, this would be 1 or 3, and this would be 1 or 4. Then we end up with 3 low digits and 1, and that breaks the equality cage immediately. So I'm pretty sure that this has to be a high... Hang on. Does it have to be this way around? I don't think it has to be this way around. Essentially, what I'm trying to say is this is 3, 4, 6, 8. Because I need to have one high, one low, because this one is going to be the same. Since you can't have a 5, this one will be the same polarity. And these two will be the same polarity. Let's think about this. So, yeah, that makes sense. So if this is 3 or 4, this would have to be the same polarity. But a different parity. Right, that helps. So let me, it's easier shown than kind of attempting to explain it. Right, so this white dot will make these low. Sorry, will make these high. This needs to be low. Oh, that actually works. That's a shame. And then that would be 2, 4, and that would have to be an 8. This would have to be a... So this is one possibility. I was really thinking this is actually solved, and it's not. I thought it was going to force a 3, 4 in here, because this needs to shift polarity, and this would end up being 6, 8, and that's fine as well. Huh. So if I have a 4 in here, that would be 3. That would be 8. Yeah, 4 doesn't work, because to get to a high digit, which is what I would need, this would have to be 6. Oh, Sleuth, this is so much easier. Come on, pay attention. This is always 2, 4, because this is meant to be a black dot on a shifter line. They have to be the same polarity and parity. So if you think about 1, 2, 4, and 8, and 3 and 6, this is clearly not going to work on a shifter line. 4 and 8, they're of different polarities, so 8 doesn't work. 2 and 4 work, and 1 and 2 are of different parity. That doesn't work. So this was always going to be 2, 4. And therefore, this had to be a 6, because if it's an 8, that would be a second 4 in the same row. So that is a 6. That's our first digit. Oh, come on. There you go. 6, 3. This is 7 or 9, and we have digits, and therefore this is another 8. Lovely. That took me a bit of a moment to sort of notice. Where am I going from here? So this can't be 2 or 4. I'm going to do something just so I can see it, because I can barely see these supposed white dots. Not sure if I've done much better now. I really can barely see them. I'm going to do something silly. It's white, it's red, so they stand out a bit more. Right. I think this has to be 3, 6. We know this about equality cages. If it's, you got to have a low digit and a high digit. On a black Kropke dot, well, this is either 4 and 8, which it isn't because they're both even, or it's 3, 6. If that's 3, that's 1. If that's 6, that's 8. 8, not 7. As we shift into here, we need a digit. So if this is a 6, 8, this is 1, 3, which actually works. If this is 3, 1, this is 6, 8, which still works. 1 would force this to be a 2. 3 would force this to be a 6. 6 would force this to be 3. And they're kind of potentially breaking something here. Let's think about 3, 6 now. So if this is 6, we said this is 3, this is 8, then we're down to, hang on, that doesn't work. That does work, and this is 1, 3. Now 3 in here with a 6 there actually does work. No, so I don't actually break anything. Ignore that. And 8 in here would be 4. It really does look like it should have broken, but for some reason it hasn't. If it's 1, this is 2, and then this is 6 or 8. I mean, this equality cage and this loop around, surely there is something here. So if this is 6 or 8, this is again 1 or 3. If that's 6, that would be 3, that would be 1. If that's 8, that would be 4, so this could be 3, right? Then this would be 2 or 4, and this would be 2 or 4, so that's fine. So if this is low, this would be 2, 4, and this would be 2, 4, and that's all looking good. If this is 6, 8, however, I think that's trouble, because these would be 5, 7, or 9 because of the white Kropke dots, and none of which can actually work on a black Kropke dot. So this is indeed 1, 3, this is 6, 8, this is 3, 4, 6, 8 in here gives me another 6, 8 there, and therefore this is 1, 3, 6, 8, 6, 3, 1, 2, and this can actually be 1 or 4. Lovely. Did I do this correctly? I absolutely did not. I think the trouble when I come to shifted lines is I usually play them like equality cages. And you can't do that. Oh, Sleuth. Right, these are fine. This is not. 1 and 3 could go to a lot of things. I could go to... I couldn't do 2, 4, could I? I could with an 8 or a 1. Not a 1. Because if this is 3... No, this would... In both scenarios, this is 2, 4. You see, if this is 3, 1, I need to shift to either 7, 9, which is not because of the black Kropke dot. And if it's 6, 8, I could shift to 7, 9, which is not because of the black Kropke dot. So this is always 2, 4. Now, I can have 1. If it's 2, it has to be the 1. The 4 is not available. If it's 4, the 2 is not available. This would have to be an 8. So you end up with a 1, 8 pair. I made this way harder than it should have been, to be fair. Way harder. 7 and 9 here. This time I am correct. You shift both. And the 6 and 8 in here would mean that this is 3 or 4. And it's not a 4, because we've got a 2, 4. That's 3, that's 6, which could only reach a 7. More digits. Doesn't help me in actually determining any of these, unfortunately. What else can we do? So we have to shift again. And my options are 2, 4, which looks good, and 7, 9, which looks good. This cell can help. So I could do 9 with 2, 4. And a 2, 4, well, yeah, it could be either. I could have this 2, 4 in here, or I could have this 2, 4 in here with a 9. And if it's 3, 6, sorry, if it's 1, 8 or 1, 3, I mean, I could have 3 with an 8. Yeah, this is not what's next here. These white Kropke dots, this 2, 4 helps because it means it's 1, it's not 1, it's not 3, it's not 2, it's not 4. Can't be 5 because 6 and 4 are not available. So this is 789. That's the only remaining digits. And that can work on a white crop dot, also known as a red cross. It makes these low digits because 6, 7, 8, 9 are all written out. So these are from 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not a 3. And that can't, well, it can be a 1. No, because this can't be 6 or 8. So that can't be 1. This is 2, 4. This is 7, 9. This is 6 or 8 now because it's another white dot. And it's not an 8. So that's 6. That's 7. That's 2, 4. That's another 2, 4. That's not 2, 4. This is 6, 8. Right, we're making progress now. This is not 6 or 8, so this is 1 or 3, and it's not a 3, that's 1, that's 3. Lovely. Doesn't help me in resolving these yet. And this 6, 8 is still, oh, that 6 does. That's 8, which gives me 1, 3, 6. Doesn't help me with my 2, 4, gives me an 8 in here. It does help me with my 2, 4. Fantastic. Okay. 2, 4 pair. Essentially, where does this 2, 4 go? It's not here. It's not there. It's in here. And this is a 5. Then we have in here 1 and 9, I'm going to say. May as well do a bit of Sudoku since we're here. These two cells, they're not 1, 2, 3, 4. I think they're 5, 7, 6, 8, or 9. Yeah. And that is a digit we should be able to write in. That's a 6. These two cells are now known in the sense that, oh, hang on, that 4 gave me a 2, gave me a 4, gave me a 2. Where does 4 go now? That's 4 and 9. These cells are now known. They are 1, 3, and 5. 6 in here gave me a 7. That's an 8, 9 pair. Right. Finally, we've kind of found our feet, figuratively speaking, and we're actually making progress. So this 6 could be 2 or 4. That's 2, that's 4. It could also be 7 and 9. That would be 7, that would be 9. So these are fully pencil marked now. This equality cage, it's not 1 or 2, it's 3 or 4, and 3 or 4 has to be this side. And therefore it's not a 6 or 8. So this can only be 7 or 9, and therefore this can only be a 4. Therefore this can only be a 2. Then we have to shift into either a 1, 3 pair, which is, I mean, the 1 couldn't be here because that would be a 2, so, but I could do 3, 6, 1. The other possibility is 6 and 8, which, again, because of the 6, this would have to be the 8, this would have to be the 6. The 8 would give me a 4 in here. So one of them is always a 6, isn't it? Not very useful, though. It does give me a 6 down here, just Sudokus. Because it's essentially either 8, 6 or 3, 6. Doesn't help me rule out which one of these it is. Does it help me with this equality cage? 7, 8, 9, and 6 all see this cell. So this is the low one, and it's not 4 or 2, it's 1 or 3. And therefore this has to be an 8 to go with that 1 or 3. Again, doesn't help me resolve this as far as I could tell. We have in here 5, 7, and 9. Right, let's think about what this is. This feels very much like 2, 4 at this point. If this is 8, 6, and 4, I mean, I can get away with 1, 2, to be fair. And if it's 3, sorry, if this is 8, 6, and 4, the 6, because the 6 is always gone, this is not 3, 6. So this is 1, 2, 4, or 8. Now, if it's not, can I actually use an 8? Can I do 4, 8? That would be 3, that would be 1, that would be 6. that would be 3. I think the answer is yes. And I could do 7 and 9 in here. So other than saying it's 1, 2, 4, 8, I'm not sure I could do a lot more. Let's do a bit of Sudoku then. Let's see if we can clean up a bit. 7 in here gave me a 5, gave me a 7. This is a 5, 9 pair. These two cells, well, we need another 1, 3. And I'm going to say a 6. The 6 can't be here. That's the 6. This is the other 1, 3. There's essentially another 5, 9, and 2, and 4. I mean, it's looking very tricky to make this 2, 4. But I can do it with a 5, 9 in here. So it is possible. It seems unlikely. There's another 5, 7, 9 plus a 1. That 4 gave me 2, gave me 4, which gave me 6. How about do that, Sleuth? 3, 1. Lovely. Doesn't help me resolve my 2, 4 or 7, 9 pair. 1 in here tells me that this is 2, 4, 8 with a definite 4, and this is not an 8. 1, 3, quick tidy ups. Need a 4, 5, 4, 5, 7, and 9. I don't seem to be able to place almost any of these. Interesting. Maybe this equality cage, last one that we haven't. I did say, let's pay attention. Oh, hang on. 2, 4, 2, 4. That's 7. That's 9. That's 1. That's 9. 9 is one of these two cells now. Notice how I said, let's do a bit of Sudoku and then immediately jumped back to variance. It's just the grid looks so empty. So, I mean, okay, maybe I could do a bit better here. There is 2, 4, and 5. That's not the 5. That's the 5. This is the 2, 4. This is the 9. Ironically, even though this wasn't a 2, 4 pair, we still end up with a 2, 4 pair as such, and a 5, 9 here. 9 gave me a 5 there. This is now 1, 7, 9. Not sure I can resolve just yet. One of these is a 9. If this is a 9, this would have to be 2 or 4, which it isn't, so that's the 9. This is not 2 or 4. We know that this is not a 4, but it could be a 2 with a 7 or 9 in here. The alternative is that this is an 8 and this is a 1. So that's a fully pencil mark cage. So essentially I have a 2, 4, 8 pair in here now. That's a 9. That's, sorry, triplet. That's not a 9, and therefore, no, I could have done 2 and 7 still. I was going to say that's resolve things. It hasn't. And then we have 1, 3, 5, and 7. Seemingly almost all of which is allowed. I mean, we are kind of almost done with variance at this point. 2, 4, 8 triple. This is 7, 8. We have another 3, 5, and a 6, which we can place. And therefore, this is not. Broken something. Oh, yeah, I've broken the fact that this is not an 8. And, I mean, the 6 is still correct, yeah. 6 is, yeah, that's a 6. That's an 8. This is 5. Thank you. 3, 1, 5 pair now. That 8, 6 help me at all? Not really. There's another 1, 5 and a 9. Fascinating. So 1 and 9, 5 and 9. There's a definite 3 in here. And this is 1, 5, 7, or 9. It is not a 5, but it's basically all the others. Is that the only place for a 5? Seemingly. How did we get away with that in that box? 5s. And no 5s in equality cages. 5, 1, 5, 9. Not 9. Not 3, surely. Yeah, 1, 7 pair. Still not resolved. 7, 9 in here. That's a 7. That's a 9. This is a 1, 7 pair now. Ooh. Will be resolved by the equality cage, of course, because they belong to different groups. 1, 7 pair means that this is the... No, this is not the 9. This is the 9. 9. This is 2, 4. That's 4. That's 2. I need a 5 and an 8 to finish this box. That gives me 4. That gives me 2. That gives me 4. And that gives me 8, which gives me 1, 7, 1, 7, 2, 4, 6, no, 5. I'm sort of staying put at the moment, just not calling out what Sudoku I'm doing, because, you know, stunningly bad at it sometimes. It's a lovely puzzle, gUBBLOR. Now, I know that people tend not to be huge fans of pairs of puzzles. I think it's meant to be because you're meant to be solving it with somebody else. Since, you know, Mrs. Sleuth isn't... She got into Sudoku a little bit, but not enough sort of for us to be doing these kind of puzzles together. Looking forward to your comments. Yeah, slightly messy solve. Sorry about all the messy Sudoku. See you back soon. Bye-bye for now.